Hello everyone and welcome on back to another video. We're going to be talking about the Dragonhunter next up in this Balance Impressions video series, question mark? I mean, it's not much of a series, but every time there is a balance patch, I like to deep dive as deep as I can into the professions that receive some changes. And now we're going to be talking about the Dragonhunter, one of my favorite elite specializations. It's very straightforward. It's a DPS spec. It has some ranged capabilities. The traps are fun, and with the balance patch, they really just looked to hopefully like increase the damage. They did do some slight tweaking with True Shot, increasing its cooldown, but compensated that with increasing its damage. I think I've heard that the actual like numbers, it's not actually a buff, maybe just a slight nerf. I'm not too sure. I'll leave the number crunching to other people who are doing like more data analytical balance reviews, but from an open world perspective and someone who kind of leisurely plays raids and strike missions, let's see how Dragonhunter is feeling. First up, we're going to talk about the gear that I'm running, just give a bit of a baseline. I'm running with dragons. I don't have roots on this character. I only have sigils of accuracy and celerity. Oh, I gotta go put some runes on this character. Hold on. Right, everyone, we're back with the power of editing. Okay, so I'm taking, I'm currently running with dragon stats to get power, precision, a little extra vitality and ferocity. I've run with worm runes for vitality and ferocity, and then 7% of my vitality is converted to that ferocity. So I'm getting a little bit extra ferocity, especially with the worm runes as well. I'm running with greatsword and longbow. I'm running with accuracy and force. For my longbow, I probably should run force, but open world, I'm running with celerity to give myself a little bit extra quickness with my attacks. Disabling, you can get on your deflecting shot, and then we're running with berserkers on your accessories and rings. For my specs, I'm running with Radiance, Zeal, and Dragonhunter. Currently running with Inner Fire, Retribution, and Righteous Instincts, increasing my damage while I have Resolution and all that stuff. I could take Healer's Resolution, gain Resolution when using a heal skill, though it's not like the most important. Maybe we're changing it up. Running with Virtues. I'm running with Unscathed Contender, Inspiring Virtues, and Permeating Wrath. And then Zeal, I'm going to be taking Fiery Wrath, deal increased strike damage to burning foes, Zealous Blade, and also Symbolic Avenger. You could run with Radiance. For the sake of this video, I'm going to try Virtues. And then for Dragonhunter, I'm running with Piercing Light, Zealot's Aggression, and Big Game Hunter. Big Game Hunter was buffed up to have its duration increased by 100%. You're getting 15% increased damage, vulnerability, and this now lasts 12 seconds, which is phenomenal. They did buff up Heavy Light to deal increased damage to Defiant foes as well. It still feels a little like the stability is great, but I'm not sure where this sits. Maybe it's a bit more competitively minded. And then as for the Grandmaster Hunter's Fortification, I just know I've never really felt a draw to take this. What I would actually love is if this Grandmaster trait allowed your traps to be placed at range. Like, that's all it did. Like a 900 range, and it had an arming time of a second. I don't know. I think that would be a phenomenal Grandmaster, and something that would be kind of gameplay defining and flavor defining. But nevertheless, I'm also running with Longbow, Greatsword, and for my traps, Purification, Procession Blades, Bane Signet for increased power, Sword of Justice for increased attacks, and Dragon's Maw. They also buffed up Dragon's Maw quite a bit. Now for the Longbow, they've increased the damage on Hunter's Ward, so you're getting more damage out of your final hit. Let's go. Oh my gosh, we're already just one-shotting things. Granted, with your Dragonhunter, you are a bit more squishy, so you should be careful. Of course, utilizing your F3 when you can. Let's get in here with Greatsword. Also, they've buffed up Binding Blade to do more damage over time, and they might have increased some of the auto attacks on Greatsword. Don't quote me on that, but let's use Dragon's Maw here. Get some nice damage out. Oh gosh. We're getting some hits already. We're gonna use that. Oh, I was about to dodge it. My timing was off. We'll use this to give myself some increased damage. We'll go into Binding Blade so we can get some damage over time as well. We gotta use the Tether to get some increased damage. Also, these crushers are heavily armored, but we're still getting some good crits, all things considered, as those crushers have incredibly high amounts of toughness, so your actual strike damage numbers will be a little bit lower than normal. Are there any other? Oh, there's some Mordrum over here. Hi, Mordrum. Let's try to chain them together. Ooh, it's just like, it's so simple. You go to 1 and then you hit the 2 and, it's so nasty. It's so nasty. You just like demolish. Of course, these are Mordrum, which are not the most tough in terms of enemies to fight, but these Punishers are pretty tough as well. Like, if I remember correctly, back in 2016, these Mordrum would put up a decent fight. They would put up a fight. Let's try this Veteran. Veterans tend to have a little bit more health. Into that. The Tether as well is doing increased damage, especially with burning and all your applications getting 10% increased damage when you activate a virtue is also delicious. Ooh, you evaded all of that. Good for you. Oh, okay. Oh. Let's go back over here. Ooh, can I activate my purification? I hope so. There we go. Oh, you teleported out of there. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're taking virtues, you won't get a refresh on Spear of Justice for moment-to-moment gameplay. So I think in a rating scenario, you might get more out of this because you'll have longer uptime on your Spear of Justice because it will go down to 17 seconds. But for moment-to-moment gameplay, you'd probably still be better off running with Radiance. And then maybe just go like this so you can get the renewed Justice. Virtue skill 1 is renewed when you kill a foe. So maybe that still is the better option to go down. Let's fight this Vinetooth. Oh, you're already at half health, Mr. Vinetooth. Okay. Let's get in here, use some Resolution. And proc increased damage and getting some Might as well. Whenever I have Resolution. Hello, Stonehead. Oh, we can fight you. Oh, but you love to, like, just knock people down. Yeah, open world. I mean, there's really not much to talk about with Dragonhunter. It's very straightforward. So straightforward, in fact, that, like, any updates is just like, oh, it got more damage. Oh, awesome, perfect. You're gonna be wrecking face a little bit faster, a little bit more reliably. But we'll just see how much damage I can pump out with this. Oh, it's already up. Oh, it was just started. So we have someone helping here, but this will be a good kind of like indication. Is it charging? Oh, it is charging. Perfect. We'll double dodge. We have our when you go into a sword, spend a win. Very nice. We'll just block some attacks as well. I'll use purification to just get some of my health back up. Now he's moving, so we'll go back into our... Ooh, that 20,000 is pretty nice. We'll go back into our longbow. Also, gaining quickness on my rune is nice to just increase your auto attack damage, you know, being able to fire that off a little bit more quickly. So that was fun, that was nice. We did have a Mesmer there helping us, but seeing those big crits of 20,000, even in open world when you're going from mob to mob, seeing crits up to 10,000 to 15,000, sometimes even 20,000, depending on the amount of might that you currently have. Like, just seeing that, like, you're able to delete mobs that you run into so easily by just chaining into your F1 and then using your second ability and then like an auto attack or two. And especially with taking Radiance, you just are able to have it off cooldown so frequently. Sniper. Let's see how the sniper feels. We'll disable, you just gotta get that interrupt. Of course, getting those quickness moments. All very nice. I mean, there's not really much else to say other than Dragonhunter is still very, very good and very forgiving. I think in terms of its traits, I could see some reworking and repositioning of some of its traits. Like Zealot's Aggression, I think could maybe be a passive, and then Defender's Dogma, blocking an attack causes Justice to recharge its maximum charge. I feel like this could be almost baked into Bulwark, but Zealot's Aggression does feel so very needed that you're not really going to be taking Bulwark, I imagine, and Hunter's Determination is kind of situational in PvP. I don't know, Zealot's Aggression feels like a must take, so, you know, maybe making that the passive, and then Defender's Dogma. I don't know, blocking on Dragonhunter never really feels like the main objective. And I think a lot of its blocking elements could kind of be baked into something like Valor, where it is more about blocking, and then Hunter's Fortification is to be reworked into, you know, placing traps at range, really kind of solidifying its damage potential. But we have a couple survivability options here with Soaring Devastation, Bulwark, even something like Dulled Senses applying Cripple more readily. And Piercing Light has an element of defense with applying Slow. But yeah, I think that's the last thing really about Dragonhunter that I could maybe see just given a second pass or a second consideration at least, is some of its trait placements and all that stuff. Oh no. I highly recommend Dragonhunter. I've always really recommended Dragonhunter. I wonder, I mean, its damage, I'm imagining, has been increased, especially with the Greatsword and Binding Blade, to the point where you should feel very comfortable taking it into raiding and strike missions. I mean, I've always felt very comfortable taking it into raiding and strike missions. Of course, with your utility skills, increasing your damage, you have extra flexibility. As a Guardian, if you need to, you can take Stand Your Ground, you can take elements of Wall of Reflection if an encounter calls for it, more CC, you can take Sanctuary, of course, it also heals if anyone's inside of it. So yeah, you have a lot of flexibility with Guardian baseline, and you also have extra flexibility within the other specializations that you choose. So that was my impression of the Dragonhunter. It's really fun. Love using the longbow, and I highly recommend it. Comment below your thoughts about Dragonhunter. Is there anything you would like to mention or point out in terms of the changes with its balance, or maybe recommend any tips to Dragonhunters and Guardians who are looking to play this elite specialization? If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to Patreon and get early access to all of these videos, and you can catch me over on Twitch basically every day of the week. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.